I can have your attention, we will go ahead and call our meeting to order today, December 1st, 2023 at 2 p.m., which was regularly scheduled for 1 o'clock. The Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission, we are starting somewhat late today, trying to accommodate the unforeseen scheduling of several commission members who have been delayed on I-65 due to a horrific truck accident. We've been informed that there are some fatalities involved, so a lot of concern there, but they're doing their best to get here, so we're trying to make accommodations for them. We've got a few items that we can take care of. It's not a necessity that they be here right now, but we will move ahead with our meeting. But they have given such due diligence in the past week to come to all the presentations that they have sitting through and heard and listened to and evaluated, so we want them to be a part of the process today as well. So as y'all keep that in mind, I'll go ahead and lead us in a word of prayer, and then we will begin our meeting. So if you pray with me. Father, thank you so much for another day of life. We just pray for the families and individuals impacted by the horrific accident on I-65. We just pray for our commission members as they strive to get here. Just watch over them, keep them safe. Father, we do pray for those families who maybe have lost loved ones, and we just pray that the Holy Spirit would intervene in each case. Father, we thank you for our efforts thus far, and we just pray for the commission members here today. I pray for wisdom and direction as we move forward in this industry that we're doing our best to jumpstart here in Alabama. Father, I thank you for our staff, for Mr. John and Brittany and David and Justin and Cindy and Brandy and Scott. I just thank you for all the efforts that our staff has provided to us as commission members to see to it that we are enabled to do our job and do it well. I just thank you for each and every one of them and their commitment to what we're attempting to do today and what we've done in the past. Father, watch over us today as we move forward. I'll pray in Christ's name. Amen. Mr. John McMillan, I'll ask for a roll call, please, sir.
Chairman Vaughn.
Here.
Dr. Blakemore.
Present.
Dr. Zaleski.
Present.
Mr. Gamble.
Here.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Here.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Here.
Ms. Hatchett.
Here.
Mr. Harwell.
Here.
Dr. Saflarski.
Present.
And Dr. Harvey. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Dion Robinson. Dion.
I'm sorry, Mr. Robinson.
Present.
Thanks. I'm sorry, Dion. I
No, it's okay.
forgot which roll I was calling.
No, it's okay. I understand.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. One more time, John, if you don't mind, try to see if Lori Skelton is on the line.
Ms. Skelton, can you hear us?
She may be and just can't communicate at this point in time. We thought we had her on a Zoom call, but she's one of those caught in traffic, so we'll hope for Lori to arrive soon. We have 4 different sets of previous meeting minutes we need to approve. The first one being the October 26, 2023. All of you members should have received those minutes via email from Ms. Peters. Is there a motion to approve as printed? Motion. Who made the motion?
Second.
Got a motion from Dr. Salisky. Second from Dr. Jensen. Any other discussion or corrections recommended for the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, any opposed? Thank you. The November 27th, 2023 meeting, which began this past Monday when we started to take up the presentations. So you should have received those minutes as well. So is there a motion to approve as printed?
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Gamble. Was there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Dr. Blakemore. Any other discussion or corrections recommended for those minutes? All in favor of accepting as a printed, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, Lori. November the 28th. November the 28th, 2023 meeting. You should have received those minutes as well from Ms. Peters. Is there a motion to accept these minutes as provided?
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Gamble.
Second.
Second from Dr. Jensen. Sorry, Sam. Any recommendations or corrections to those minutes? All in favor of accepting the minutes as provided, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Aye.
I got you. It's kind of a delay. We'll bear with it. November the 29th, 2023 meeting minutes. Ms. Peters also provided a copy of those via email. Is there a motion to accept those minutes as provided? Got a motion from Mr. Harwell.
Second.
Second from Dr. Jensen. Any other discussion or recommended changes to the minutes? All in favor of accepting those minutes as provided, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Lori. Motion passes. Well, good afternoon to all of you here, and certainly our commission members. I'd like to thank all of you for attending today, and some of you have been here the past week. It's been a long week, but thank you for your attendance. As you know, we've had several days of applicant presentations on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'd like to thank all of our commissioners, both those here and on a Zoom call, for their participation in these presentations. I also like to thank all of our applicants who took the time to come and present. I know that each of the presentations will be helpful to our commission members as we consider licensing decisions today. However, let me also remind all of our commission members that even though an applicant may have chosen not to give a presentation, they were not obligated to. So they are still subject to an award of a license, even if they did not make a presentation. I'd like to recognize Mr. Justin A. Day, our legal counsel at the commission, to discuss the procedures and the process for our meeting moving forward today. Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, as you are all aware, the procedures for presentations that were made this week and the procedures for your meeting today are governed largely by the provisions of the emergency rule. That's Rule 538-X-3-.20 ER that this body adopted on October 12th. Also, your licensing decisions are being made without regard to previous scoring that was before you, as agreed in the litigation settlement and memorialized and directed in the order entered by the Montgomery County Circuit Court, a copy of which was previously provided to you. I'll briefly remind you of a few of the specific provisions of the emergency rule that will be part of your deliberations and actions today. First, let me remind you, as the chairman just reminded you on each day of the presentations, that an applicant's failure to make a presentation before the commission does not mean that the applicant is precluded from being considered for an award of license. The emergency rule is clear that making a presentation was an opportunity for, but not an obligation of, applicants being considered. Second, applicants who were previously identified as having potential pass-fail issues were given an opportunity to show cause through a written response as to why their application should not be rejected due to such pass-fail items. According to the statute and the AMCC rules, any applicant with such circumstances existing is ineligible to receive a license. You've been provided with those criteria in the Alabama Code and the AMCC rules. For the 5 license categories in which you will consider license awards today, there were a total of 15 applicants who were sent pass-fail show cause notices in accordance with the emergency rule. Of those 15 applicants, 4 failed to submit a response to the show cause notice. You have before you a summary of the pass-fail items noted for each of those applicants and the response for those applicants who submitted one. Included in the summary is the page number reference for each response submitted. This is the same information that you were provided in advance of the presentations, but in a combined format for all license categories being considered today. As the meeting proceeds, the chairman will ask for your consideration of those applicants who were required to submit a show cause response. Next, and with that framework in mind, I'll briefly discuss the procedure provided in the emergency rule for ranking and then voting on applicants who are subject to an award of license. Once you've disposed of all pass-fail matters, then you will be provided with a ranking sheet for the first category of licenses being considered, which will be cultivators. You will rank each applicant in descending order, assigning a unique numerical ranking to each applicant. For example, the applicant that you're ranking the highest will be assigned a 1, the next highest ranking applicant assigned a 2, and so forth until all applicants have been ranked. As a result, all applicants will be assigned a ranking and no 2 applicants will receive the same ranking. As a reminder, all rankings shall give due consideration to all statutory and regulatory criteria which you've been provided. As you are aware, Alabama Code Section 20-2A-51B provides that this commission shall ensure that at least 1/4, 25% of all licenses that are awarded today, that is all licenses in categories other than integrated facility, are awarded to business entities, at least 51% of which are owned by members of a minority group, or in the case of a corporation, at least 51% of the shares of the corporation are owned by members of a minority group and are managed and controlled by members of a minority group in its daily operations. The code defines minority group as individuals of African American, Native American, Asian, or Hispanic descent. The applicants who indicated in their application that they have satisfied this criteria and submitted supporting documentation for the same will be denoted on the ranking sheet with an M beside the applicant name. Once you've completed your ranking sheet, we will collect them and compile the rankings submitted by each commissioner. The compiled rankings for each applicant will be averaged, and the applicants will be sorted in descending rank order. That is, the applicant with the lowest average rank value being the highest ranked applicant, and that one will be considered first in the order of voting. The applicants will then be considered in order based on their average rank value until all applicants have been considered or until the statutory license limit has been reached. A couple of additional notes: those commissioners who are participating by Zoom will be emailed the ranking sheet at the same time the ranking sheets are distributed to those participating in person. They will complete the ranking sheet in the same manner I described above and send the completed sheet by reply email. Also, all commissioners will identify themselves by name on the ranking sheet, and the compiled rankings identifying each applicant and each commissioner will be made available publicly on the AMCC website after the conclusion of today's meeting. Finally, once voting has concluded for cultivators, we will proceed in the same manner for each other license category in the order noted on today's meeting agenda. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have or yield back to the chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Aday. Anyone have any questions for Justin before we move forward? As Mr. Aday mentioned, we have a total of 15 applicants before us today who were sent a pass-fail show cause notice, and 4 of these applicants failed to respond to that notice. As you will see referenced in your pass-fail summary documentation that you have in front of you, those 4 applicants are First Choice Farms, which is a cultivator, Alabama Green Transport, an LLC, a secure transporter, Global Security Group, Incorporated, a secure transporter, and ALA Laboratories, which is a state testing laboratory. Because these 4 applicants did not submit a show cause response, it is now in order to eliminate them from consideration for a license, so I'll entertain a motion for such action at this time.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion from Dr. Saliski. From who? Have a second from Dr. Jensen. Any other discussion on that motion or questions? I'll call on Mr. McMillan to have a roll call vote. And John, just keep in mind we've got a couple on the Zoom, so give them time for that delayed response to come in.
Chairman Vaughn.
Aye.
Dr. Blakemore.
Aye.
Dr. Saliski.
Aye.
Mr. Gamble.
Aye.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Aye.
Ms. Skelton.
Aye.
Judge Price.
Aye.
Ms. Hatchett.
Aye.
Mr. Harwell.
Aye.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Aye.
Dr. Harvey. Motion passes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Motion does pass. Dr. Harvey is one of those also caught in traffic, so we're awaiting his arrival anytime. Next, we have the other 11 applicants who were sent a pass-fail show cause notice and who submitted a response. Those 11 applicants are included in your pass-fail summary documentation with the page number references to the show cause responses that they did submit. I'll entertain a motion if any commissioner would like for us to consider eliminating one or several or all 11 applicants. So now's the time if any commissioner sees fit to do such. Having heard no motion, we'll proceed with our agenda. We're now ready to move forward into the ranking and voting process for cultivation licenses first. Mr. Aday described the process that we will use going forward today. Each category will resemble the other as far as the process. So are there any questions or discussion of applications before our cultivator ranking sheets are distributed? Now's the time. Anybody have a concern or a question or an advocation or a complaint?
Could you please one more time list the 4 applicants who did not submit the response?
Yes, sir, Jersey. They were a cultivator, First Choice Farms, an LLC, Alabama Green Transport, an LLC. They're a secure transporter. Global Security Group, Incorporated, another secure transporter, and ALA Labs, a state testing laboratory. Those are the ones that were voted to eliminate from consideration.
Thank you.
And Dr. Jersey, we're making those adjustments to the ranking sheets now, and that will be reflected in the ranking sheet that is sent to you.
Yes, those ranking sheets, for example, there will be one less cultivator. We had 12, now it's down to 11. Is that right, Ms. Peters? So that's what your ranking sheet will reflect. As I mentioned, Mr. Aday, he just already described the process that we'll use for our ranking process, but if there's not any questions or comments, we'll move forward with distribution of the ranking sheets for cultivators for all of our commission members here present, and we will be receiving documentation from those on the Zoom call as well. Justin?
I'm deleting them.
Once every commission member has completed their ranking, you'll turn that sheet back into one of our staff members, either Mr. Aday or Ms. Peters.
Chairman Vaughn,
Yes.
this is Taylor. Will you let Brittany know I have not received the ranking sheet to my email?
Okay. She'll be communicating with you on that, Taylor.
I am about to send it now. I had to make the adjustments before sending, but it will be coming to you shortly.
Thank you so much.
To all of our guests here today, bear with us. It may take a few minutes to retrieve the information on the email from our Zoom members.
For those joining virtually, the documents have been sent to you. Dr. Jersey and Ms. Hatchett, I'm confirming that I've received your ranking sheet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori, can you hear me okay? This is Rex.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Can you put your
Did
name?
you receive mine?
Yes, ma'am, we did. Can you go back and apply your name to that sheet, please, ma'am?
I tried. I'll try again.
Okay, just do the best you can.
Okay.
Lori, if it doesn't work for you to go back and apply your name to the document, your email address will suffice.
Okay. I tried again. Let me try to send it. Thank you.
Ms. Skelton, I'm confirming that we received your ranking score with your name on it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have the ranking of our cultivators all tabulated and finalized. We do have a tie between the top two, which will now, pursuant to the statutory emergency rule, we will have a drawing to see which one will be voted on first. So they are applicant number 1628, which is CRC of Alabama and LLC, with a score of 2.3, and Greenway Botanicals and LLC, which is number 1638, also a 2.3 scoring. The lowest scores were the highest ranked. So.
Applicant 1628 was drawn.
Okay, 1628, CRC of Alabama and LLC will be the number one ranked cultivator, which means we will take that vote up first. Before we move forward with the voting, I'm going to, all the ranking we just did, and we'll continue to proceed in that fashion with other categories. I'm going to ask Mr. Mark Wilkerson to explain the availability of our ranking sheets for down the road. All of our documentation that we generate, that we have generated and will continue to generate, will be for public use if necessary. So, Mark, if you don't mind explaining the purpose for that.
Yeah, Chairman, Mr. Chairman, to reiterate that the information that was just received was done in the course of the open meeting. By necessity, because of the statutory authorization for this agency to meet virtually, information was submitted electronically. But that has been associated with the name of the person who participated in the ranking, and those sheets are provided and are on the counter in front of you. Not only will they be published for public view after this meeting, but they'll be available for inspection by the public at any time, including after this meeting. So that aspect of this process has been in public. And the other thing I would mention as well is, even though that these, as said in the emergency rule, the rankings that were done are solely for the purpose of order in which matters will be taken up for consideration, and are not determinative of the vote of any commissioner, and commissioners are free to exercise their independent judgment following further deliberations. on each of the applications.
Thank you, Mark. Any of our commission members have a question for Mr. Wilkerson before we move forward with our voting?
Sir, I'd just like to make a comment, if I would.
Yes, sir, Dr. Shalisky.
I'm not sure if as the proceedings went on, we became weary, and I know that they were the first, but I have to say that some of the top people that are on this list had some of the most sensational presentations, and I'm so encouraged by their readiness to be ready. I think they could probably start growing plants tomorrow if we asked them. So I was very impressed by them.
Thank you, Dr. Shalisky. Anyone else have a comment or question?
I will second what Dr. Selinsky just said.
Thank
it
you.
was very impressive how the presentations were made, and I'm glad we had this opportunity to listen to the applicants. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saflarsky. Anyone else?
I'll agree, Mr. Chairman, with exactly what Dr. Selinsky said. I was impressed with the presentations, but also that we have applicants that could start growing cannabis, I believe, in a week. After hearing those once they're issued the license. But I was very impressed.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Couldn't agree more. Anyone else, our commission, like to make a comment?
Yeah, also.
Yes, Mr. Harvell.
We had the opportunity to.
Put your mic on, Mr. James.
I appreciate we had the opportunity to put a face with an application. And I think that's something that really speaks volumes for those who came and made a presentation, because they were outstanding. So thank you for the opportunity to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Harwell. Any other comments? Well, now we'll move into the voting process of our cultivation licenses. So we're now in a position to take up the first applicant, which is CRC of Alabama and LLC. Is there a motion to nominate CRC of Alabama?
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Harwell. Is there a second?
Second.
Made the second. Dr. Blakemore seconded the motion. Any other discussion on CRC of Alabama? Hearing no more questions, remember this is a motion to nominate them to be awarded the license. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of us moving forward with the vote, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we will now take a roll call vote for each one of you. So, Mr. McMillan, go ahead and have the roll call vote for CRC of Alabama.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Selinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Call Ms. Skelton again, Mr. McMillan, if you don't mind.
Ms. Skelton.
It's a majority.
Motion passes. We have a number of votes to confirm CRC to be awarded a license. Let's move on down to the next one, 1638 applicant number, which is Greenway Botanicals and LLC. Is there a motion to nominate? Got a motion from Dr. Blakemore. Second from Mr. Gamble. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward with that motion to award Greenway Botanicals. Mr. John McMillan, go ahead and have the roll call vote.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Selinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett,
Yes.
Mr. Harwell,
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski,
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Motion passes. Moving on to applicant ID number 1618, Gulf Shore Remedies and LLC with an average score of 2.5. Is there a motion to award a license to Gulf Shore Remedies?
So moved.
Second.
Who was that? Dr. Jensen? Dr. Jensen, who made the second? Dr. Salisky, thank you. Have a motion from Dr. Jensen, second from Dr. Salisky. Motion to award. Any discussion on that motion or the second?
I just want to comment that I found their application to be excellent, as well as their presentation. They were really.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jensen.
Yep.
Any other comments? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call.
Chairman Vaughn,
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore,
Yes.
Dr. Salisky, I'm sorry,
Shame on you. Yes.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Dr. Martin, Dr. Jensen,
Yes.
Ms. Skelton,
Yes.
Judge Price, Ms. Hatchett,
Yes.
Mr. Harwell,
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski,
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Motion passes. Moving down to the next applicant ID, number 1613, Native Black Cultivation, a minority with an average score of 5.
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Gamble to make a motion to have a second from Ms. Taylor Hatchett. Any other
No,
discussion?
it's Lori Skelton.
I'm sorry, Lori, got you. Second
That's
from
okay.
Second from Lori Skelton. Any other discussion on that motion?
Well, Chairman, I'd just like to say I really appreciate Mr. Morgan's persistence. He's worked very hard over the past 2 years to just keep at it, and I really appreciate his effort.
Thank you, Dr. Blakemore. Anyone else have a comment about native black cultivation? Have a motion and a second, so Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call.
Chairman Vaughn,
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore,
Yes.
Dr. Salisky,
No.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Dr. Martin, Dr. Jensen,
Yes.
Ms. Skelton,
Yes.
Judge Price, Ms. Hatchett,
Yes.
Mr. Harwell,
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski,
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Motion passes. Thank all of you for participating. Moving on down to applicant ID number 1691, Creek Leaf Wellness Incorporated with a average score of 5.2. Is there a motion to nominate or motion to award Creek Leaf Wellness?
So move.
Got a motion from Dr. Blakemore to award Creek Leaf Wellness. Is there a second?
Second.
Gamble. Mr. Gamble, thank you. Any other discussion or comments pertaining to this applicant? If none, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote.
Chairman Vaughn,
No.
Dr. Blakemore,
Yes.
Dr. Salisky,
Yes.
Mr. Gamble,
Yes.
Dr. Martin, Dr. Jensen,
Yes.
Ms. Skelton,
Yes.
Judge Price, Ms. Hatchett,
Yes.
Mr. Harwell,
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski,
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Thank all of you. Motion passes. Moving on further to applicant ID number 1639, Twisted Herb Cultivation and LLC with an average score of 5.5. Is there a motion to award a license to Twisted Herb Cultivation?
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Gamble. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Jensen, thank you. Any discussion or questions on that applicant? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes?
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Motion passes. Motion to award to Twisted Herb Cultivation passes. The next applicant ID number is 1682, I Am Farms, a minority with an average score of 6.9. Is there a motion to award I Am Farms? Got a motion from Judge Price. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Second.
Yes, Saliski.
Dr. Saliski, thank you. Any comments or questions pertaining to this applicant, I Am Farms? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Motion passes. Thank all of you. We'll move forward to the next applicant number, 1699, Blackberry Farms and LLC with an average score of 8.4. Is there a motion to award a license? Hearing none, I'll move to the next applicant number, 1697, Pure by Sermon Farms and LLC with an average score of 8.5. Is there a motion to award?
Motion.
Got a motion from Dr. Zaflarsky. Is there a second? Hearing none, motion dies for lack of a second. Moving on to applicant ID number 1671, Sonitis LLC, a minority with an average score of 9.2. Is there a motion?
So moved.
To award. Who made that motion? Dr. Jensen made the motion. Is there a second? Got a motion from Judge Price to second. Any other comments pertaining to that one? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
No.
Dr. Saliski.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
No.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price. Ms. Hatchett.
No.
Mr. Harwell.
No.
Dr. Saflarsky.
No.
Dr. Harvey.
Motion fails for lack of positive votes. Before we move forward, I'd like to make note of the fact that Dr. Harvey has arrived in person.
Dr. Harvey's in the house.
Thanks for getting here, Dr. Harvey. It's been a challenge, I know. Moving on to the last applicant ID number on cultivators, the applicant number 1665, the James Gang Dispensary and LLC, also a minority with an average score of 10.2. Is there a motion to award? Hearing none, that concludes our cultivator licenses to be awarded. So we'll move forward to the next phase of our licensing process, which will be the processors.
For those of you joining online, I'm preparing the ranking sheets and we'll send those to you momentarily.
Any commission member has any questions or comments for advocating or against to talk about the processors before we do the ranking part of it, would you like to speak to this while we have some time?
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I think once again we had some folks that rose to the top, had some great presentations, and I was very impressed.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. I think you're exactly right. We also have 11 choices to consider as processors as far as applicants. Mr. Aday will pass out the ranking sheet. Remember to put your name on the top and turn it in to Justin or Ms. Peters as soon as possible.
I'm trying to.
Oh, leave it on.
Brittany, could you let us know when you email the forms?
I have sent them.
Thank you.
Welcome home, Lori. Y'all mighty brave asking that woman that now. With what she's dealt with, you'd be playing with fire asking her that kind of question.
Somebody said it's cold up here. You're right. It's cold.
It's warmer today than it has been.
Really?
We finally opened the blinds. Let a little sunlight in. It was cold. I said, we're all going to be sick next week. I said, we're going to need a good doctor to help us out.
I hope we find one.
Been seeing a lot more flu.
RSV. Woo! You know, we never tested RSV until we started doing those viral diagnostics. And how do we do those vials to get this 18 test off the nasal swab? Something that's stuff. I'm not about it. What? One for 92 years old. That was mother that I had. RSV TCR was positive. Lots of the doesn't we got here. She brought it up. Then you go RSV the next day. Yeah. It's legit.
I'm RSV vaccine.
And Glaxo's got it out. It's good numbers on it. And it's flu-like. You know, it's a micro. I call it microchip. And, you know, it's just a small subparticle. Attenuated virus on the mRNA. Everybody's so afraid.
Yes.
Now it comes in change from the mRNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're over 60, with comorbid illnesses, I probably would suggest it. Side effects. So I tell people the big four. Please get and Prevnar 20 for me all my run patients. Prevnar 20 is important. RSV and COVID. The fourth booster. CDC just came out with 4 million folks of interest. None of them will call it.
So you're 92, 93-year-old or something?
No. We were true care. We actually got him off the ventilator, but it's in status and so forth. We had arrested in the field.
Dr. Jersey and Ms. Hatchett, I'm confirming receipt of your ranking sheet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should mention that, you know, about 3 years now. That's what I say. We said, some of the secretary said, I had 7,200 applications.
Really?
What? You know, and I call them active. We didn't need to get people to see once and 4 but off the roads. So we're looking at the time somebody's retired, replacing them. So we get 2 from me. So we try to hire.
Maybe they probably need 3. Because do you do business out of it too? Like, you know how to bill and all that stuff. So you'll still be sitting at your house billing.
Walk away, let the kids have it. That's nice about all of it. You walk away. We buy a little bit, tiny bit, just we buy a little bit. That's why it doesn't. It's not the first for cash flow. It's efficient. That's what we do. As far as we work, that's not bad. Our group, the reason why I'm in this business is that Fred comes to my senior partner. He said his integrity was conduct so strong that anything can be necessarily good. We're I'm a Republican, but we're socialists when it comes to art. Everything is being nailed, everything. Split it exactly. Everybody gets the same amount. You know, good about it. There's some days that are more Republican days than this, but at the end of the day, everybody's working hard. So we all get the same cut. We make pluses in 1 year. If you want to solve, come on. You can you guys going to give you the door.
Really? So like your one's pledge, like you have to show what you want.
You know, that's about 3/4 of the way for the year, you know, to keep it.
Really? How many people do you think you sent home?
I don't know exactly. 5. We had one guy, I'll never forget. I really shouldn't have hired him. He said, you can see stuff like this. You know, talking all of a sudden. About 15 minutes now. That's one of my partners. Look at that. We're so desperate to find out. He was exactly like you. Lazy. After 6 months, I told him, he was joking, he's over I'm going to use it somewhere else. It was at one time, I'm going to buy that much a key. I was sad.
Appreciate it.
I got the first two.
Looks like we're ready to move forward with our, to announce the ranking order of our processors. And I'll go ahead and tell you, we do have a tie for a spot between 4 and 5, or to rank 4th or 5th. So when we get to that, those two applicant numbers, we will have a draw-in to determine which one is voted on first. All of our commission members, please remember that we have a maximum number of 4 allowed processors. So once we hit the limit of 4 confirmed votes to award a license, that will end the voting at that time on processors. So as we move forward, keep that in mind. And before we start I'd like to give anybody a chance if they want to speak to the processors that we've heard and seen and considered. So does anybody want to make mention or comment or questions or advocate or anything such as that pertaining to the processors that we're voting on in a minute?
Chairman, I'm just going to say something in general, not anything specific about any of them, but looking at these numbers and also their presentations, it's a shame that we have to give just 4. I think unequivocally there's more than 4 that deserve this. And I think that bears out, and I hope they understand that, because somebody unfortunately is going home without a license, and that's a shame.
You're exactly right, Dr. Seliski. Anyone else?
I will echo that, but I would also like to say, and I believe it's reflected in the score rankings, that Organic Harvest really did a wonderful job with their presentation. There were so many wonderful presentations to listen to, but I appreciated especially the time and effort that they put into that.
Thank you, Ms. Hatchett. Anyone else have a comment to make before we proceed to the voting? If not, we will entertain a motion for the first applicant ID ranked number 1. Number 1632 would be Organic Harvest Lab and LLC. Is there a motion to award?
Mr.
So
Chairman.
moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Harwell, second from
Second.
Ms. Skelton. Any other comments or questions before we move forward with the vote? Mr. McMillan, go ahead with the roll call vote per commissioner.
Chairman Vollen.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Seliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Please clarify, Jersey.
Saflarski was a no.
Dr. Saflarski.
No.
Okay.
Wow. Yes.
Yes.
Is that it, Mr. McMillan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. To award a license to 1632 Organic Harvest Lab and LLC. Moving on to applicant ranked number 2, the applicant ID number 1617, Coosa Medical Manufacturing with a average score rank of 4. Is there a motion to award?
So moved.
Got a motion from Dr. Blakemore.
Second.
Second from Ms. Skelton. Any other discussion on applicant number 1617?
I really enjoy Coosa Medical's scientists. They really did an excellent job discussing dosage forms, pharmaceutics in general. They gave a great presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Blakemore. Anyone else want to make a comment? If not, we'll move forward with the roll call. Mr. McMillan.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Shalinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
No.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett. Mr. Hartwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
No.
Dr. Harvey.
No.
Let me back up. Ms. Hatchett, did I hear you say yes?
That is correct. My vote was a yes.
Thank you, Taylor. Is that everyone, Mr. McMillan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, motion passes. Is that right? Motion.
Did that pass?
Yes, motion passes. Applicant number 1617, Coosa Medical Manufacturing. Motion passes to award the license. Moving on to the third ranked applicant, number 1694, which is 1819 Labs, an LLC, and a minority with an average score rank of 4.0909. Is there a motion to award to 1819 Labs?
So moved.
Dr. Jensen, thank you. Mr. Gamble with a second. Any other discussion?
Great presentation, I thought.
They're good.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Anybody else want to talk to that one, to 1819 Labs? If not, we'll move forward with the roll call vote. Mr. John, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Shalinsky. Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Hold on. Sorry. No. Salisky, no.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
No.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Hartwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Now, before we move forward to the next one, we need to have a drawing. I'm going to let Dr. Blakemore draw this time. Let him be the culprit on this one. It'll be between applicant number 1648, Enchanted Green LLC, a minority with a score of 4.7273, and also 1653, Jasper Development Group Incorporated with the same identical score. So, Dr. Blakemore.
1653.
All this means is which one will be voted on next.
1653.
1653 has now been drawn, so we will take that vote up now. So is there a motion to award Jasper Development Group?
So moved.
Got a motion from Dr. Jensen. Is that you, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Second from Dr. Blakemore. Any other discussion on 1653 Jasper Development Group Incorporated before we move forward with the vote? Mr. McMillan, have the roll call.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Shalinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
No.
Judge Price.
No.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Hartwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries. So the motion to award a license to 1653 to Jasper Development Group passes. And that is our maximum number of processors confirmed at this point in time.
Commissioner, I have a question. I know you're not going to want to hear this, but because both Enchanted and Jasper had equal numbers, is it out of order to see the maximum number of yes/no votes on each of those to see who would get more positive votes to see who would get that last award?
Legal.
Mark, what would you say to that?
Chairman, I think the
Mr. Chairman, I think the vote has been taken, so it would be it would be out of order to have a vote that would change the process. Now, whether there's a motion to reconsider, to rescind that vote, that would be something that the chair could take under consideration. But I think the ordinary process to have approved the Enchanted Green over Jasper Development Group would have been to deny, not to have passed Enchanted Green. And so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkerson. Thank you, Dr. Salinsky. Nothing wrong with asking questions for clarification. Okay, the third category we'll take up today will be dispensary licenses. I believe we have 18 of those to consider, but only 4 will be awarded a license. So, does anyone here, commissioners, do you have any questions or comments to advocate for or against any of the applicants who are dispensaries? Hearing none, we'll move forward with the ranking. So sit tight as Justin passes out the ranking sheets for dispensaries.
Dr. Jersey and Ms. Hatchett, I just sent the email with the ranking sheets for dispensaries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Get your fingers working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just said. But then there's paying up in that space. Space. Yeah. They are. This is. Yeah, well, yeah, there's no section. I'll do whatever it takes to be here to keep it. Yes. I think so. I think all of it. Because see. You know,
Dr. Jersey and Ms. Hatchett, I'm confirming receipt of your ranking sheets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Florida State. It's a work jumps on bandwagons. He is he's not on. Our record was perfect versus. Okay. Oh, wow. Well. Nope, no ties. Oh, wow.
If our commissioners are ready, we will move forward with the voting on dispensaries. As a reminder, we can only have 4 in this category, so keep that in mind as we move forward. So we'll start off with the first applicant, number 6. I'm going to do it one time. Yeah. First applicant, ID number 1611, which is CCS of Alabama and LLC. They had a top score of 2.3636. Is there a motion to award? Got a motion from Mr. Harwell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Skelton. Is there any comments or questions pertaining to CCS of Alabama and LLC? Before we move forward with the roll call vote, any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote with commissioners.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Salinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries to award 1611 a license for a dispensary. Taking up the second-ranked applicant, number 1635, GP6 Wellness and LLC, also a minority group with an average score ranking of 3.5455. Is there a motion to award to GP6 Wellness?
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Mr. Gamble, second from Dr. Jensen. Any comments or discussion pertaining to this applicant?
GP6 had an excellent presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Blakemore. Anyone else? Hearing none, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote from commissioners.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries to award GP6 Wellness and LLC a license. Moving on to the third-ranked applicant, number 1631, Capital Medical and LLC, with an average score ranking of 4.3636. Is there a motion to award Capital Medical?
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Harwell. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Ms. Skelton. Any other comments or questions pertaining to this applicant, Capital Medical? Hearing none, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
No.
Dr. Saliski.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
No.
Dr. Harvey.
No.
Passed.
Passed.
Passed by one vote.
That vote was 6-5, Mr. Chairman, in favor.
Six. By virtue of majority vote, 6-5, motion carries to award Capital Medical LLC, applicant number 1631, a license. Yes. We're voting on the fourth ranked applicant, 1643, RJK Holdings of Alabama and LLC, with an average score ranking of 5.5455. Is there a motion to award RJK Holdings?
So move.
Got a motion from Dr. Blakemore. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Saliski, thank you. Any questions, comments pertaining to RJK Holdings of Alabama?
Dr. Moultrie is a pharmacist, and I think he'll do a great job. I really believe he'll take his talents that he's gotten from being a small business owner and really translate it into a medical cannabis dispensary.
Thank you, Dr. Blakemore. Anyone else have anything to mention?
I thought they had a great presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Anybody else? Thank you for your comments. If none, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote from commissioners.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
No.
Ms. Skelton.
No.
Judge Price.
No.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes to award a license to RJK Holdings of Alabama and LLC. That is the maximum number of dispensaries that we can have. So we have maxed out on those. Any other discussion on dispensaries before we move on to the next category? Our next category will be to award or deny secure transporter licenses Anyone have any comments pertaining to this category before we move forward?
Commission members, understanding that we have no statutory limits on the number of awards that we can assign this category, and seeing no reason why we as a commission should impose a limit, I'd like to make a motion to approve all eligible license applications for secured transporters.
Okay, we have a second from Ms. Hatchett. Excuse me, a motion from Ms. Hatchett and a second from Judge Price to award a license to every applicant as a secure transporter. We have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That excludes the 2 with pass-fail issues.
Yes, I think we had 9, now we're down to 7.
2 pass-fail.
Great presentation.
These applicants will include applicant number 1622, Pick Up My Things, a minority. Applicant number 1633, Soraya Schultz. Applicant number 1637, XLCR Incorporated, a minority. Applicant number 1674, Harvell Motor Company Incorporated, a minority. 1676, Tyler Van Lines and LLC. 1688, International Communications, LLC, a minority. And finally, 1689, Alabama Secure Transport, an LLC. The motion from Ms. Hatchett, seconded from Judge Price, is to approve all applicants to receive or be awarded a secure transporter license.
Before we vote, I would like to make a comment.
Go ahead.
I would like to say that there is a significant discrepancy here between the top and the bottom of the people that you just enumerated. I think there's a significant difference. I'm not going to say individually which they are, but that's just my strong feeling.
I think we'd be in order for a roll call vote for this motion. So, Mr. McMillan, any other discussion on this motion and the second?
Mr. Chairman, would it be fair to say that if this motion doesn't pass, there would be individual considerations in order?
Yes. If this motion does not pass, we will vote individually. We'll rank them like we have the others. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Dr. Saliski's made a point. Anything else? Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote pertaining to the motion made to either approve or deny a blanket approval of secure transporters.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
No.
Dr. Saliski.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
No.
Ms. Skelton.
No.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
No.
Motion fails for lack of affirmative votes. So now we will sit tight as we develop pass out the ranking sheets for the secure transporters, and each commissioner will rank the 7 applicants.
I know. I can only get home. He's right. There's 2. I said.
What's that?
Sure.
I want them to come see me on the 24th. So. I'm trying to.
You come in first.
I mean, I get it. That's right. No limit. Yeah.
But you know,
I pressed 2. So 2 is the one.
Yeah. I think. Well, we knocked out 2.
yeah.
How many's that?
Give them more.
At least.
I have been a couple of anyway, but,
There's what now? Well, I have to see.
Yes.
And still, you know, you gotta put your name on it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Here you go. Thank you.
Ms. Hatchett and Dr. Jersey, I've sent you the ranking sheets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You going today? Today? 3 hours? Yeah. Too good out. If I'm. Just cross my. Yeah, that's kind of the way I was. I wanted to get up there and eat
At least we get down to the end.
Almost there.
Yep.
have lunch with her.
Well, that traffic mess. Yeah, I just need your bang. Yeah, I know. 65. Once I got that going,
Yeah.
definitely just crossed my fingers and said,
Don't start, no. Oh, somebody say stuff, some say.
Yeah, sure.
See, give you a gold star.
Keep bringing it. I keep looking over the
Actually, you really don't have to why stay here anymore.
15 minutes. Look at this thing.
It's here a lot.
Come on. It's a new do-all. My wife loves it. I just think it's a much. She may do it for you. Yeah.
they're already putting out emails with our scores. Oh, they got about medical cannabis.
There we go.
Somebody, I think he thought I saw him in here a while ago.
He's one of those writers.
Yeah.
No, not that guy.
I don't know how I got on their email list.
Oh, I'm on it too. Yeah, I get it.
I guess. Yeah. I simply went down and put everybody on there.
I am talking about.
Probably thinking they're educators.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, it probably. Yeah.
He left, so maybe he doesn't care anymore. Oops.
I'll keep those up there.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
At least the last one would be easy. It's only one. We need more testing labs, though.
Got a group that we use for COVID and influenza A and B. They've been providing us with testing since the pandemic. And I've been trying to get them because they're a statewide lab.
Yeah.
Well, blah, blah, we got some other stuff we're doing. I'm like, come on, man. I said, it's a no-brainer. You can come in with
You can charge what you want.
2% and charge what you want. We're going to give you a license.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
We got one in Grand Bay, so
Yeah.
everybody in North Alabama got to ship it.
screw.
And spend $100 or more to ship it.
And that might be the choke point when you think about it.
Oh, yeah,
You
it
got
is.
This whole industry going to one
Well,
lab.
every one of these cultivators, integrated growers, the product's going to come due at the same time. So how are we gonna get it tested? Yeah, that's the problem. Gonna be a bottleneck. Because all gonna be at the same time. And it'd be that way for every 120 days.
Yeah. Jeez. They could probably use 3 labs.
Oh, yeah.
You know? One up, middle, lower.
Because I asked the transport people, you know, what is your fee? Of course, they didn't want to give a fee, but it's not going to be cheap.
But transport, though, they will. The market will decide who's going to be busy and who's not going to be.
That's
so
true.
Quite frankly, we could have given them all, but some of these were so bad.
All right.
I mean, I don't want to think about giving them a license. But at the top 2, their fees better be.
Yeah, Alabama Secure and Tyler.
Yeah, that's it.
With it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Those 3 guys right there. I'm secure.
Yeah.
Dr. Jersey and Ms. Hatchett, I'm confirming receipt of your ranking sheets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alabama College. You read I feel like this is not weird to anything feels fun. That's what you think the flip phone looked like, man. Golly.
We're getting down to the end.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Making sure your mic's not.
Oh.
Yeah. What's the time? Hey, Vincent, we're Webster, right? Yes, sir. Yeah. What? There's still somewhere. I know this strike many.
No. There's some.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just used to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be. Right. Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you for your patience today. We're drawing close to the end, about to take up the secure transporter category. And there, as mentioned before, there is no limit, no maximum number we can vote on. So we will vote on whatever is motioned and seconded and affirmed. So anyone want to make any comments pertaining to secure transporters before we move forward with the first applicant? Hearing none, the highest ranked applicant is number 1689, Alabama Secure Transport and LLC, with an average score ranking of 1.5455. Is there a motion to award Alabama Secure Transport?
Motion.
Second.
Motion from Dr. Zaleski, second from Ms. Skelton. Any other discussion or comments? Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes. Moving on to the next applicant, number 1676, Tyler Van Lines and LLC, with an average score ranking of 2.0. Is there a motion to award Tyler Van Lines?
So move.
Got a motion from Dr. Blakemore, second from Mr. Gamble. Any comments or discussion on this applicant? Hearing none, Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett. Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Yeah, again. Did I get you, Ms. Hatchett? Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
We in here.
Ms. Hatchett, can you repeat your vote?
That was a yes. I apologize, having technical errors.
Thank you, Ms. Hatchett. That is a yes vote from Ms. Hatchett. Motion carries for 1676. Moving on to the third ranked applicant, number 1622, Pick Up My Things, which is a minority group with an average score ranking of 3.3636. Is there a motion to award Pick Up My Things?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
move.
Got a motion from Ms. Skelton. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Have a second from Dr. Eric Jensen. Any discussion on this applicant called Pick Up My Things? Mr. McMillan, move forward with a roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Ms. Harwell. Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes for applicant number 1622. Pick up my things. The fourth-ranked applicant, number 1688, called International Communication and LLC, a minority group with an average score ranking of 4.0. Is there a motion to award International Communication?
So moved.
Who said that? Dr. Jensen, thank you. We'll go with the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Saflarski with a second. Any comments or discussion on this applicant, International Communication, LLC? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Salinsky.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank all of you. Moving on to the fifth-ranked applicant number 1633, Soraya Schultz, with an average score ranking of 5.2727. Is there a motion to award?
Make a motion.
Got a motion from Ms. Hatchett. Is there a second?
Second.
Who's that?
Dwight.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Second from Mr. Dwight Gamble. Any other discussion on Soraya Schultz? Applicant number 1633. If not, Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
No.
Dr. Salinsky.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
No.
Ms. Skelton.
No.
Judge Price.
No.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
No.
Dr. Saflarski.
No.
Dr. Harvey.
No.
Motion fails. Moving on to the sixth-ranked applicant number, 1637, XLCR Incorporated, a minority, with an average score ranking of 5.3636. Is there a motion to award XLCR?
I'll make that motion.
Dr. Jensen makes a motion to award XLCR. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion from Ms. Hatchett. Any other comments on XLCR applicant number 1637? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
No.
Dr. Salinsky.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
No.
Judge Price.
No.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
No.
Dr. Saflarski.
No.
Dr. Harvey.
No.
Motion has failed. Moving on to the last applicant, number 1674, Harvell Motor Company Incorporated, a minority applicant with an average score ranking of 6.4545. Is there a motion to award Harvell Motor Company? Hearing no nomination to award or motion to award, we will that will wind up our secure transporter voting.
Yeah.
The last item we will take up is the awarding of the state testing laboratory. And as most of our commissioners know, we have one state testing lab that to be considered, applicant number 1619, Certus Laboratories. Is there a motion to award Certus Laboratories?
I move so.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Motion, Dr. Jensen. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Skelton with a second. Any other discussion on Certus Laboratories?
I'll just say I was a little bit ambiguous on their based on their initial application, but after their presentation, I feel really good about them.
Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Any other comments on this one before we vote.
I would go on record to say that I hope whoever's listening who has anything to do with labs out there will come to us, because I don't think one lab is going to cut it here, and it may be the choke point for this product.
You have two, because you have two labs. The first lab.
No.
You back there? Oh.
We did have two, Judge Price, and one failed for lack of show cause. Any other discussion? Dr. Saliski is exactly right. We do need more labs to state testing laboratories for the sake of more objectivity. So the commission will consider how to move forward with this challenge in the future, but currently we're about to vote on 1619 Certus Labs. Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes. Motion passes, so we will award a license to Certus Laboratories. The last item to consider today will be a motion and a second and approval to deny all other applicants a license going forward. So that's where we are. It's a hard motion to make, I understand, but that's what we've got to do as a commission.
Make a motion.
You want to say all applicants,
yes.
All integrated facilities.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. This is all categories today with the exception of integrated facilities. Integrators are not considered today, so that one just, we're not talking about that one, talking about the other five. State testing labs, secure transporter, cultivators, processors, and dispensaries. Those who were not awarded a license today. The motion would be to deny all others.
So moved.
Got a motion from Mr. Gamble. Is there a second from Dr. Jensen? Thank all of you. Any other questions or discussion on that item? Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote, please, sir.
Chairman Vaughn.
Aye.
Dr. Blakemore.
Aye.
Dr. Saliski.
Aye.
Mr. Gamble.
Aye.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Aye.
Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Judge Price. Yes. Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Aye.
Dr. Saflarski.
Yes.
Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank all of you for your votes. Those of you who are awarded a license today will be invoiced for the license fee, and you'll have till December 15th to submit your payment. The AMCC staff will also be reaching out to those deemed to receive a license to conduct the pre-issuance site inspection. Those of you who were denied a license have that same deadline of December the 15th to submit a request for investigative hearing. Each applicant, whether awarded or denied a license, will be contacted by the AMCC no later than Monday regarding these obligations. We do have presentations scheduled for next week on December the 5th through December the 8th, Tuesday through Friday, for integrated facility applicants. I encourage each commissioner to review the materials that have been provided to you in preparation for these hearings. They will be long. And I look forward to seeing each of you next week. As a reminder, we are scheduled to begin next Tuesday, I think at 8:30, is that right, Brittany? Yes. So our next meeting will be next Tuesday, December the 5th at 8:30 a.m. right here in this room. And after next week, we will come back here again on December the 12th to award the integrated facility licenses. Any questions or comments before we get ready to dismiss? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Got a motion from Judge Price, second from Ms. Skelton. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 4:18 p.m. Thank all of you.